Hello. Germinating seeds indoors is much quicker than germinating seeds outdoors because you can control the temperature, you can control the moisture, you can keep the seeds damp, you can keep the seeds warm until they germinate. Then you've got to transplant them. They've got to go outdoors. I've done it with a number of different types of vegetable, but in this short video that I shot some years ago, I do it with parsnips. Now parsnips are one of the vegetables that I've found take longest to germinate. The seeds can take 3 weeks to germinate, and if you're doing it outdoors and the weather isn't kind, longer than that. But if you do it indoors, you can significantly shorten that germination period, then plant them out. And I'll show you how I do it in this video. And although you will not see parsnips being harvested in this video, trust me, the parsnips did grow and I did harvest them at the end of the season. Enjoy the video. Pre-germinating parsnip seeds before planting them out. These are the parsnips I'm going to be growing, called Parsnips. According to the packet, they take 14 to 32 days before you see any growth, before they germinate. I'm going to be using this plastic tray. It's got a tissue in the bottom and that tissue is wet. I've got a dish here with a little drop of water in it, and I've got this plate here just so you can see the seeds a bit better. I'll pop that down there. I'll get the seeds out. Now I'm not growing a lot of parsnips, I'm only growing for 3 raised beds, and those beds are going to have other vegetables in them as well, so I don't need a lot. Perhaps if you're growing an allotment you wouldn't even try this because it might be a bit fiddly for what you want, particularly if you're growing long rows of parsnips, but I'm not. Right, here's a neat trick. This is a matchstick. Okay, wet it in the water, touch the top of the parsnip seed and it picks it up just like that. Hope you can see this. I'm on the wrong side of the camera, so I don't know if you can. Just pop it in like that. One done. Wet the matchstick, touch the seed, picks the seed up, pop it in like that. I hope you can see those two. Pick the seed up using the wet matchstick, pop it in like that. Couldn't be easier. Just like that. Okay, so as I said, I'm not planting a lot. I don't need a lot. I'm only going to be putting these in a raised bed. I did try with some parsnips a bit earlier, a couple of weeks back, using this same method, and they don't appear to have germinated yet, so I don't know if they're a viable seed, so I'm having to go with these as well. Just sort of give ourselves a backup. And as you get hundreds of these in a packet, if these don't actually germinate, then we'll just go back to the old-fashioned, put them straight in the ground way of sowing seeds. Okay. We'll make that 2. Now put one more in. Let's get one more. A nice pattern. That was a nice pattern for you. Now obviously these need to be kept damp. This is out of a windowsill propagator that I have, so I've got a plastic top that will actually fit onto this. But you could use a saucer, you could use anything really, plastic container. As long as you keep this moist, keep it damp, cling film. put it on a windowsill, and in a couple of weeks time hopefully we'll see these germinated, and we'll relocate them to the raised bed. This is my attempt to grow parsnips in one of my raised beds. I've tried parsnips before but always been unsuccessful. I've never put a lot of effort into them and I've never got much out of them. So this year I'm going to try something different. As you can see, I've already got these holes dibbered, and this is my dibber, if I can just ease it out. And that in a former life was probably a coffee table leg, which I've used to produce holes about 9 inches deep. I'm going to fill these holes with compost, and that's where I'm going to be sowing my parsnips. The compost I'm using is a multi-purpose compost with some 6X added, and I put it through a riddle just to take out any debris that you wouldn't want in there when you're growing a root like a parsnip. These aren't sure parsnips, these are just parsnips for eating. So if I can get some nice parsnips out of here without having to push a hole through to Australia and get them enormous, just parsnips for the table will be wonderful. I'll just show you how I fill these up with the compost. Just ease this out. You'll be able to see my board as well. This is the board that I'm using. 5-inch spacings, 7 inches wide. They're probably far too close, but hey, who cares? Let's do it. So I'll just tease this stuff into these holes like so. And as I say, it's just multi-purpose compost with a wee bit of 6X added. I've put it through the garden riddle just to make sure there's no big lumps in it. And now I'm just dribbling it into these holes that I've produced. And it's my dog Molly barking. We might be getting visitors, that's usually a sign of visitors. Right, I'll pop round the other side and finish these off. Now I believe the spacing recommended for these is about 8 inches between parsnip and 16 inches between row, but when you get raised bed gardening you're not going to get many parsnips in at that, so we'll perhaps settle for smaller parsnips but more of them. These parsnips have been in my windowsill propagator now for about 2 weeks. As you can see, I've kept the ventilator closed, hence all this condensation. So they've been kept nice and damp. We'll have a look at them. Let's see if we've got any germination. Oh yes. Yeah. I'll ease this up for you, and we'll work it a couple of ways just so that you may be able to see that. But quite a few of those parsnip seeds have germinated, so I'm going to take them outside now, and I'm going to plant them.
These are the positions I've got marked out for my parsnips. I've got them marked out with these pebbles. Each time I take a pebble off, I'll plant one of these germinated parsnip seeds, and let's see how we go. Take that one off. These seeds need to go in about 1/2 inch deep, so I'll just open that up as best I can. Try and take one out. Like so. I think you might be able to see that seed, I'm not too sure. Pop that seed in there. Send it down a little bit. That's gone in 1/2 inch. We'll cover it over. One parsnip planted. Do this one next. Open it out 1/2 inch. Take a pre-germinated seed. Possibly see that, I'm not too sure. Drop it in there, like that. Push it down. Just cover it over. Take that one off. Open it up 1/2 inch. Take the seed out that's already germinated. There it is. Just pop that seed in there. So. Cover it over. Like so. Take a seed. Put it water. So I'll finish these 2 rows off, and then we'll soil is quite wet, but we'll give them a wee bit of a water, and then we'll see how they go.